I sat for 7 months on this YouTube channel because I was too afraid to post something that was less than perfect. I've been thinking about quitting YouTube. That clip you saw in the beginning was from the first video that I posted to this channel a year ago this week. And based on the numbers, honestly, if I was my own client, I would probably tell me to quit. And I know you have a version of this. You've got the newsletter that you've been working on that just hasn't been picking up. You have the social media that just hasn't had the reach that you thought it would, or whatever the project is that you've been working on without seeing any results. And everyone says, just keep going, just keep going. But then they also say, stop doing things that don't work. So then what is it? How do you know when it's time to keep going and just push through the hard parts and when it's time to just say, this isn't working and do something else? So I want to explore that with you through the lens of this YouTube channel, what it's been taking to do these videos, what I've been getting out of these videos and not getting from these videos, and then what I plan on doing moving forward. Let's jump in. So think about what goes into all the things that you're working on. Here's what it looks like for the YouTube channel. It's figuring out the topic for 2 videos per week. It's scripting or outlining, but not too scripted so that it sounds scripted, but scripted enough to where it's cohesive. It's recording the video, which takes longer than the video itself because just that sentence that I've just said, I said like 3 or 4 different times before I finally got it to where I want it to be. It's the editing, it's the thumbnail, it's writing the description, it's posting the video. And that's basically doing bare minimum. There's so much strategy out there for scripting videos and like opening loops before you close them to keep people engaged and the call to action, and I'm not doing any of that stuff. My editing has been limited to basically just removing the retakes and shortening the word gaps whenever I have pauses because I have to figure out what I'm going to say next. I've been using like the same 4 or 5 thumbnails over and over again for the last couple of months because I don't want to have to come up with a new one and take new pictures. So with even doing the bare minimum just to get 2 videos up per week, it's probably 2 to 3 hours per video. Let's call it 2.5 hours. As of right now, I have, I think, 86, 87 videos up on the channel and at 2.5 hours each. That's 215 total hours. That's a full 5 40-hour work weeks. Think about that. That's almost 3 work days every single month. So a lot of times these videos and the planning and the editing, those happen in the margins after hours and on weekends, and that takes away from the things and the people that I want to be spending my time with. And I'm not saying all that to complain. I'm trying to lay the groundwork for figuring out like the return on investment whenever you're doing something that feels like it's not returning anything. So we have to figure out what's the investment part of this. The actual like dollar cost is pretty low. I was going to have a nice camera and a nice mic and okay lighting anyway because I do a lot of Zoom calls. The software I use to record the videos is fairly affordable. So really the biggest investment for me is the investment of time and I guess the opportunity cost for what could I be doing with this time otherwise. So for your own thing, realistically think of what goes into the thing that you're spending time doing, what goes into writing the newsletter or posting on social media, the actual time spent, but then also the mental energy spent on doing the things or thinking about doing the things. So what about the return part of the equation? What am I getting out of this YouTube channel? Whenever I really thought about this video and I thought about doing the 1-year anniversary video, I was excited. I was actually thinking that this would be a look back video and to see just how far we came and how much we've grown over the past year, and looking at all the stats and the numbers behind the scenes. And whenever I dug into it, I was honestly a little bit underwhelmed. I was a little bit deflated to see that I really haven't made the progress that I was hoping I would have made. So here's where I am. I think this is the 87th video that I've posted to the channel. And that part I'm actually really happy about. If you remember way back in January, I realized that if I was going to continue posting just 1 video per week, that it would take me 2 years before I got 100 videos posted. And I'd always heard that if you want to be successful on YouTube or any other type of content creation, you got to get the first 100 out of the way because it takes that long to really learn what you're doing and learn the systems. So that's when I decided that I was going to commit to 2026 doing 2 videos per week so that I would get to that 100 videos much faster. And I'm on my way. I have kept that commitment consistently over this entire year. That is one thing that I can say I'm proud of with this channel is that I have consistently posted 2 videos every single week without fail. Next, as of this video, I am at 388 subscribers. Is that good? I don't know. At some point, I made the goal of getting to 500 subscribers. It was an absolutely arbitrary number. There were a couple of events that took place that raised my subscriber count. Like Jessica and I got to do a Q&A with Sarah Cannon's group, and that brought in a lot of subscribers. I had one video that I did this year as a walkthrough of a tax return. It was a 30-minute video. It was going to be, I thought, the worst performing video that I ever made. And it is over 5,000 views right now, where most of my videos get like 20 views. And that video alone has got me almost almost 100 subscribers, and still to this day it is getting more subscribers and more views every single day. So that's when I kind of realized that if I just got like 5 or 6 subscribers per week every single week, then by the end of this year I should be at 500 subscribers. Now, I never had any goals of monetizing the channel. I know that this is a very niche channel. It's not going to have a huge wide appeal, and so I don't expect anything to really go viral. But when I realized that 500 subscribers was within reach, I checked the monetization requirements. And to monetize your channel, you've got to have 500 subscribers and I thought 3,000 watch hours over the last 365 days. I'm at about 1,000 watch hours, but those watch hours are increasing every month. So I thought, well, I might actually be able to get to monetization. Then I realized I was reading it wrong. It's not 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours. It's 1,000 subscribers and some other large amount of watch hours. Plus, in February, YouTube is increasing the threshold to monetize your channel for the first time in I think over a decade. So the goal of monetizing kind of just fizzled. But what's interesting is that was never the goal whenever I started the channel. The goal when I started the channel was honestly just to have a place I could put information so that if people had questions that I was answering over and over again, I could just send them to the channel instead of making them pay for a consult. I knew when I started this channel that monetization probably wasn't a possibility, but I let myself get distracted because I thought maybe it was possible. And so then I started thinking maybe I could do that. And then I got deflated whenever I realized that it wasn't a possibility, even though it wasn't something that I ever even really wanted in the first place. So I guess this is why people say whenever you create a goal to write down your why, because if I had written down my why for this channel, then it could have kept me from getting distracted by other things. Now, another thing that I thought this channel might do is that it might end up becoming sort of a lead generator and pick up new clients for the CPA firm, or even funnel people into our paid school community. And I think it's done that to a little extent. I think some people have stumbled upon us from conferences or referrals. They see our YouTube channel, they lurk for a while, and then maybe they reach out or maybe they join the community, but not in enough numbers to really make a dent or to really notice. I also thought that maybe this channel would help me get more speaking engagement, and that really hasn't happened either. So recapping all this, I can tell you quantifiably how much this has cost in time, but I cannot quantify any tangible return on that investment. And as a numbers person, as a quantifying person, that's hard to reconcile. But here's the thing that I learned. Not everything is quantifiable. And this obsession with return on investment maybe is a little bit misguided. Think about going to the gym or practicing the guitar. You're not going to see results immediately, and if you measure the return on investment of that time at any point in time along the way, it might feel like it's a waste of time. But you know that there's this incremental improvement, that there's this payoff at the end. So moving away from the quantifiable, measurable things that this channel has brought or has not brought, what have been the benefits? Well, first, what was the original goal of this channel? The original goal was to have a place to put information that I can give to people who couldn't necessarily afford a one-on-one consult. And I can say definitively that it has served that purpose. I have had plenty of emails in the last year from people asking questions that I've answered on the YouTube channel where I can tell them, hey, here's a good place to start. I've already answered this, but if you want more information, if you want to talk one-on-one about it, here's how to schedule a consult. A lot of times the video that I can provide is enough information, and I'm so happy to be able to do that for somebody who maybe otherwise wouldn't have been able to afford a consult. And for the people that do go on to get a consult, now they've got context around it and they know what right questions to ask. So they're not wasting their own time and money asking questions that they could have gotten the information for free. A second benefit, which was kind of surprising for me, I hadn't thought about this in the beginning, is that now that I have all these videos recorded, I have all the transcripts for these videos. That means I have a database of all the things that I know about, all my thoughts, all my feelings on things that I can pull from to be able to either use AI to catalog it. I could look at it to write a book. I could use it to train employees. There's just so much value in having that level of context. I would love to be able to journal, but I just don't have the consistency for that. But this is almost like a journal for me. It's a way for me to get my thoughts down on a page, but through a video, which has been really interesting. And the third benefit is probably my favorite. There's a few of you who have just consistently commented on almost every single video, and I have gotten to know you through that process, which has been so much fun. Like, I'm learning about your businesses, I'm learning about your finances, I'm learning about your families even through this process of seeing your comments, even the short comments. They just give me a little bit of a peek, and I do read every single one. And so it feels like we have formed this little miniature community here on YouTube, and I love that, and I don't know if I could ever give that up. So I started this whole video saying that I was was thinking of quitting YouTube, and I want to finish the video letting you know that I am not quitting YouTube. I admit part of it was trying to get a good hook and trying to get your attention, but also realistically, I have had those real conversations with Jessica on whether or not I should keep doing the YouTube channel. But I am not quitting. I am going to keep doing this, but I am going to try and make these videos better and easier for me to record. So what is that going to look like going forward? Well, for the rest of this calendar year, I'm going to keep doing the 2 videos per week. That is something that I committed to at the beginning of this year, and I want to do it for the entire year. Now, during this whole process, I've recognized that one of my biggest issues is retention. I have a lot of people who start watching the video and then fall off within the first 30 seconds. And so I'm trying to focus on that for the rest of this year. If I could improve my retention, then I could improve my reach. And if I can improve my reach, then I can help more authors. And that's really the whole goal. Now, what am I going to do starting in January? I have no idea. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing the 2 videos per week. I don't know if I'm going to shift it to basically just be these rambling videos or keep doing the educational ones, maybe do the educational ones less frequently, maybe just do educational ones. I don't know. And I kind of think that's okay. Whenever you're thinking about the thing that's taking you so much time with no real measurable results, I do think it's important to think about the qualitative benefits, those things that you can't measure, the difference that you're making, the impact that you're having, but also, as cheesy as it is, to think about the journey. I would like to think that I have gotten better as a person over the last year from doing this YouTube channel. I've started getting better at lighting and all the technical things that go along with the channel. I learned a lot about how to edit a YouTube video way more efficiently, except for that opening clip at the beginning of this video, the whole 10 seconds, that probably took me 2 hours to edit that. It's ridiculous. This has also given me a chance to kind of play with my voice and figure out how I'd like to sound on camera. I tend to get into speaking stage mode when I do these videos, and I've learned to be more conversational, which I think has helped. The process has forced me to think through what problems authors might have and how to easily solve those problems. And seeing your comments has taught me the things that are truly valuable to you and the things that you would like to see and the problems that you're actually having, and that's been huge. So I think we need goals. I think we do need endpoints and things that we're aiming towards, but I also think that we got to remember, I have to remember, that a lot of the benefit of this is in the doing it and is in the path to trying to reach those goals and the things that we learn along the way from doing it. So if you have the thing, if you've got the thing that you're doing that you don't feel is providing any kind of benefit or producing any measurable results, if it's something that you really want to do, if it's something that you've been wanting to do and like it's something you kind of enjoy doing, don't stop just because there's no monetary return on investment. Think about the things that you're actually learning, think about the skills that you're gaining and the difference that you might be having on, even if it's just a few people, you're still having a difference. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking around and letting me try this thing out. I appreciate your patience with me. I appreciate you letting me open myself up to you, and you're not getting rid of me. I'm sticking around. Can't get rid of me that easy. So again, thank you for being here. I will see you next time.